And welcome back. As from last week's video, you already know that we've done the back of the cardigan, the jumper, sorry, the back of the jumper, which was this one. Yes, so we've got that done. We are now working on the front. Now I've already gone ahead because the back is pretty much the same as the front, apart from we've got a decrease for the neck because I wanted a rounder neck for this style. Sorry about the noise. I've got a bunny rabbit who is chewing at a wooden log. At least she's enjoying herself, right? So I've copied what I've done for the back so far, and as I said, I was breaking the front down into the numbers to make for the neck. So I've broken the waistband down into 3/4 so that we have the neck 3/3 even, yes. So off camera, all I have done is I have started here with the cast on of the 20 0 stitches, done the long cast on down to the waistband, which is the 20 of 61, same as we did for the back. Then I have zeroed it off and done 45 lines, which brings us to here. So I'm currently at this point. Now it's time to do the neck. So to do the neck, we're going to be decreasing at the other side of the work. We've done all the increasing on the bottom. We need to do the decrease on the top for the neck to make the hole. So very simple, just like we did for the other side. We're just going to decrease a couple of stitches to give it the round look. I'm on 45 lines, as I said. I have literally gone ahead without you guys. Sorry about that, but I didn't see the point of recording the same thing twice. So while we're on 45 lines, we're going to find out what type of decrease we want. Now I've got in mind here to do a decrease of maybe 5 or 6 stitches. So let's get working on that. I'm not going to zero off the counter because we want to know that the back is going to be the same as the front. Switch it around, you know what I meant. You need to make sure it's the same, otherwise it's not going to match up. So I've gone ahead and moved this stitch over to create the decrease. We still want to get to 140 rows, but obviously we've had to divide it into 3. So in the previous video I worked out that we want the neck hole to be 50 rows because that's the centre of it. I'm thinking though, instead of doing the decrease every other row, we do it every second. So that was decrease, knit 1, knit 2 coming back, knit 3 going over, decrease 1. So that's I've just ordered my machine as well. 1, 2, 3, decrease. One, 2, 3, decrease. I actually think 5 would make for a nice decrease, so I'm going to do it down to the 5 just to keep an even number. Like I said, this is a work in progress one. I will be putting my notes in the description so you can follow along, or you can follow along with this hashed up video because I've never done this pattern before in my life. So as we are writing the pattern as we go, so 1, cast on 20 0, knit 3 row, 2, increase every other stitch to 20 of 61, and that should be 125 rows, the same as the back. 3, you're gonna knit 45 rows, and this is the bit run out. 4, decrease next side, 5 stitches, 1 stitch every 3 rows. So then we should have 15 of 61 when we get to there. 15 of 61. Sorry guys, this is pretty much how I work stuff out. I work it out as I go, I lose where I put my tools, and then I go back to it. Right, I've done the decrease on there, so it's time for the 3 rows. Was 3, decrease again, and that'll be my last decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now it's going to be a knit straight. Now time for the math. We know we need to get to 90 rows. 95 rows, my apologies, yes. We want to get to 90 rows before we start increasing again on the next side, on the other's next side. But of course, sorry, working this out as I go along, technical difficulties. This is the problem with writing a pattern. So we've got 58 rows on the counter. So I've knitted 13 rows. So before row counter gets to there, I need to have 13 stitches left. Right, so you're knitting straight to 82 rows. So the 5th one is knit to row counter 82. Sorry guys, this is literally working it out as I go along. Main reason why I'm doing it this way this time is so you can see how I plan the pattern. So I'll catch you guys when I've got to 82 rows. Okay, so we've got to the 82 rows. Now we need to get to the 13, so we've got the 50 rows back for the neck hole, which I was talking about. But you need to cast on the stitches that you cast off on the other side. So knit 13 rows, increase every third row. So let's get that tiny bit done. So let's start off with the one increase. We are basically reversing what we did in the first instance. One, two, three, increase, one, two, three, increase, one, excuse me, I want you back over there, thank you very much, two, three, increase, one, two, three. Now that increase was the 95 I was talking about, so I've actually gone on to the next bit, which is the last stretch of the waist. So you want to carry on knitting until you have, let's have a look at our past 140 rows. So you're knitting your last few rows. Sorry guys, I'm just writing it down as I go along. So now you're just going to knit straight till you have 140. So you've got your neck hole. I know it doesn't seem very big, but trust me, it will be big enough. I mean, you can always make it wider, up to you. When you sew it up, you can leave that little extra gap, but it will give you that round neck that we're after. Right, so I'll see you once we've hit row 140, which will give us the same width for our waist as I did for the back. Right, once you've got the 150 lines on, 140 lines, sorry. Yeah, once you've got the 140 lines on, you're going to reset your row counter back to 0, and you're going to decrease just as you did for the front. For the back, yes, this is the front. So you're just going to create that other sleeve by decreasing it back up. As I said in the first video, I haven't made this top yet. It'll be interesting to see how it comes out. You can follow along with the struggles of writing your own pattern. And then hopefully make your own pattern. My machine clearly needs some more oil. I apologise, but this struggle is real. Although I have already oiled it once, I'm not going to re-oil it while I've got a work in progress on the machine. But I will need another ball of wool. So for the people that want to know how much wool this takes, I'll be going on to my third ball of wool. I've double knit. So I would like to say this garment officially takes me 300 grams so far. Now, because I'm working with a multi-yarn, I'm just very casually trying to join it together. So the last colour that I'm working with is pink. So I want to start on a pink again. I will save the red part of this for sewing it up. So the wool won't be wasted. It's just I want to try and keep it in colour, as you can understand. You don't want one side having a pink sleeve and then one piece having this bright red sleeve going past it. So yeah, I'm just going to cut that. I do try and do the invisible knot when I'm tying them together, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second. I didn't do my decrease. As we know, we want to try and get to 122 lines so that it matches up with the back. So, invisible knot. Let's try and do this on camera because I can only do this once. I'm not cutting the yarn completely. So you just take your first yarn, wrap it round, make a single knot. Around the first one. You take your second yarn and you wrap it round and you make a single knot on the second one. And you just pull. That's your invisible knot. It's the smallest knot I found. Yes, I just used nail scissors. And it pretty much disappears in your work. So don't forget which side you're decreasing on, because you don't want to decrease on the next side. You'll come up with a very funky looking piece of material. And my knot is about to go through the machine. If you don't feel comfortable doing it this way, there's my invisible knot. If you don't feel comfortable doing this way, you can always join it at the end and tie it there, whichever way works for you. I prefer it this way because it's less rows to work out. It's less tidying up to do. And I'll see you at the end of the decreases, because I bet Mystic's log munching is getting on your nerves. I can tune it out, I'm used to it. But then again, you hear the knitting machine all the time, running over the needles. It's no different. So yes, I will see you in 122 lines, where hopefully we will have a jumper and we'll just need to do the cuffs and the waistband. Okay, so I've done my 122 lines decrease. I've added my 3 on the end, which gives me the 125 that we had for the back and that we hopefully had for the other side. So all that's left to do is to cast off. Now, I don't know if I mentioned it, but I did the easy cast off because I will be using the stitches again to do the cuff. And I've lost my needle. Good job I have spares, right? This is why you have spares. The easy cast off, as I mentioned in my previous video, is where you just thread your needle, pick all your stitches up. That's all we're going to do. And that's the front and the back done. Sleeves as well. catch you next week and I'll show you how to do the ribbing.